So today we'll be getting into some stories with Becky Lynch, lots of Roman Reigns related topics, and much more. Let's start things off with this apparent name change and update for Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch has been in the headlines a lot recently for some recent interviews and for her new nickname. Despite her new change in character, Becky Lynch is still going by the Man nickname. Becky had a few other nicknames sprinkled in there over the past few years, like back in 2019 where she was referring to herself as Becky Two Belts during her double reign as Smackdown and Raw Women's Champion. Well, it appears that WWE has actually filed to make one of Becky's new nicknames official. The name WWE has filed for is Big Time Becks. The description of the trademark will allow WWE the proper permission to use the name for categories of entertainment services, namely wrestling exhibitions and performances by a professional wrestler and entertainer, rendered live and throughout broadcast media, including television and radio and more. Becky will come out and say a few different nicknames from time to time, but considering the official filing for this nickname, it appears that this Becky nickname is here to stay, and they're sticking with it. The new name is fitting for Becky's new persona. Becky's new heel attitude is that she's a big-time talent that can't fight on the spot. She believes that she brings a big fight feel that needs proper time to gain hype and get people ready for it. Becky got more in depth with her new approach to matches while appearing on WWE's The Bump. She had this to say: "Would you expect Conor McGregor to take a fight on an hour's notice? No. He needs his training camp. He needs his fight camp. I needed my fight camp. I didn't have my camp. You know what I'm saying? I call the shots. I say when I'm gonna have my match. Because when I fight, it's a big event. It's a big event. I don't want to throw that away willy-nilly. I need to give people time to tune in. It was me being a man of the people, giving them time to get hyped, get excited, and not just dropping in on them at a second's notice." Even though she's clearly the heel here, Becky's new character is still trying to mask up her actions by saying that she's doing it for the people, giving the proper time needed to build up the hype for a fight, the same way someone like Conor McGregor would do. So, even though it makes sense and it's a good excuse, you can see through the cracks here that shows that that's not how Becky really feels. There's probably some truth to the idea that she was just trying to dodge Bianca Belair for as long as she could because she's fearful of what Bianca could do to her, especially now with Bianca losing everything and being in that state of desperation. Bianca would do anything to climb back up to the top and be the champion again. That's usually why some challengers always come out on top. They're just more hungry and determined than the comfortable champion that's sitting pretty. And that's what's happening right now. Becky is having fun, showboating about being champion, while Bianca seems to be very serious on getting the title back. But from a realistic point of view, it doesn't seem like Bianca has much of a chance to regain her title here. Bianca was just pinned at SummerSlam by Becky, so it seems unlikely for Becky to pin her again. And as unfortunate as it sounds, it seems like the only real option for their Extreme Rules match is a screwy finish or disqualification. Becky is either going to cheat to win to further her heel turn, or we could see some outside interference from someone like Sasha Banks. So we'll see what happens next there for Becky and Bianca, but Becky is getting that new nickname tied down for sure. So let's get into these Roman Reigns related topics because this is going to connect us with some of today's other topics as well. Roman Reigns has his hands quite full right now with the Demon Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar back to back. Talk about a hard challenge. Roman Reigns has to face these two massive opponents, only a few weeks apart. There's some fans that think Roman won't get past the Demon, but if he does, he'll have to put his title on the line against a returning and revengeful Brock Lesnar. So not that much room to really catch a break here. But to make things worse for Roman, there's still a third challenger lurking in the background, a challenger that he's extremely familiar with, and that is of course Seth Rollins. Between big recent opponents for Roman like Edge, John Cena, Finn Balor, and now Brock Lesnar, it's easy to forget about Seth Rollins and the mission that he went on during the early summer. Seth Rollins vs. Roman Reigns is one of those more long-term storylines. We've seen Seth and Roman talking backstage a few months ago when Seth was having some issues with the Usos. Seth and Roman talked out their issues, but Seth did say that if something was to happen again, he would handle it himself. And that was the last time we saw Roman and Seth interact on screen with one another. Seth Rollins felt like he deserved to be next in line for the Universal title, but Edge returned later that same night, skipped the line, and challenged Roman for the Universal title. That whole situation was the backstory for Seth vs. Edge. Rollins came out during that title match and basically saves the title from Roman. Roman keeps the title and faces John Cena, while Seth Rollins and Edge battle out their issues. Edge did win at SummerSlam, but Rollins sorta gets the last laugh by defeating Edge at MSG and having him stretched away. Edge leaving in an ambulance was probably meant to write him off for a bit. We don't usually see superstars leave in an ambulance, then come back the next week like nothing happened. So the fact that being taken out in an ambulance happened to Edge likely means he'll be gone for a while. With Edge now being out of the way, what does that mean for Seth Rollins? Well, it means no more obstacles, no more roadblocks to Roman Reigns and the Universal title. Seth Rollins can finally focus his attention on his former partner, Roman Reigns, and challenge him for the title. But looking at the WWE calendar, it may still be a while before we see Roman vs. Seth. The rest of September will be dedicated to Roman's story with Finn Balor. Then, October, we will have a dedicated story to the Brock Lesnar vs. Roman Reigns story. Then November is Survivor Series season, so that'll be dedicated to building up Roman vs. Big E. So when you look at it like that, there still won't be an opening for Seth Rollins until December, or maybe even early 2022. WWE has been teasing this match for a long time, but it looks like it's still far away. It could potentially be a Royal Rumble feud by the looks of the WWE calendar. And speaking of Roman Reigns, fans have been talking about a situation for us to see the Bloodline versus the New Day. A full 3-on-3 match may not happen at Survivor Series, but the two teams could still face each other in separate matches. If the New Day are able to capture the tag titles before Survivor Series, they'll be right up there with the Bloodline. Their trio would have a world title and the tag team titles, just like the Bloodline. So it'll be interesting for them to face off against each other throughout this night and see how that plays out. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.